So I'm Roger, this is my wife Sarah. We live very rurally in mid Wales, got quite a bit of land and an old stone cottage, about 250 years old, and we've been here for 30 years.
The only option for us really was oil, so we've had oil-fired central heating since we moved in.
It started off as no problem at all, 7p a litre I think when we first came, and we've been up in 80-90p a litre since then.
Yeah.
So now, you know, it's really nice to be able to start to move away from using the oil, to be honest.
And it's smelly as well, isn't it?
Yeah, and you've got to store them in tanks, you've got 2 tanks outside. You know, it's just it's a way of life, I suppose.
The last time the boiler was serviced, we were told that it was probably on its last legs. So at the same time, we heard that the boiler upgrade scheme had been increased. The grant had been increased to 7,500. So at that point we thought, okay, let's look into alternatives.
Panasonic have been making heat pumps since 1973, so we're just over 50 years now, so they know what they're doing. They're number one over in Asia. They're very highly regarded in Europe as well.
When we thought, okay, let's start to look into this, we contacted a few installers and landed on Air2Heat, which are fairly close to us, and Paul Thorney. You know, we didn't know a great deal. I mean, we knew what they were, etc., but you know, we were relying on Air2Heat and Paul Thorney in particular, who's very, very knowledgeable.
So Paul Thorney runs Air2Heat. He's very, very passionate about renewable energy. He has recently come on board with Panasonic, and that's just down to giving him more choice and also a lot better efficiency and reliability. Obviously the customers contacted Paul on his merits, on his reviews. He did site visits. They were looking at an oil boiler, but realised that actually with the grant they can actually get a heat pump and it will cost them less to run. The installer chose the Aquarea J Series T-CAP model. So T-CAP stands for total capacity. And what that means, certainly in a rural area, the T-CAP will give the customer, on this one's 9 kilowatts, so that will give 9 kilowatts of heat down to -20. So it gives the customer and the installer the confidence that it's always going to be able to deal with the heating for this home. For this option, it really boiled down to the efficiencies. He found that Panasonic was a lot more efficient for what he needed to achieve here than any of the other manufacturers he uses. To get the customer the best efficiency he can deliver means a happy customer, lower bills, but also Paul feels happy as well because he's done the best job he can.
Oh, it's amazing, absolutely amazing. We've got a warm house, and it's a lovely, it's a mild warmth, if that makes sense. It's not that intense heat. When you put your oil-fired central heating on, your radiators are scorching hot, and then it goes down and feels chilly again. It is amazing. The house is just constantly warm, same temperature, lovely. So
we put a heat pump in, and the customer, they may have a bit of confidence, but they also have got worries because they've read stuff online or they've talked to their friend down the pub, etc. But just by having that service cloud app connected to their heat pump, this means they know that if there's any problems at all, our technical can dial into it. The installer can be emailed if there is any problems. But as we know with new technologies, customers, they have a little play. They might put something wrong. It means they can call their installer and say, I think something's gone wrong. The installer can dial in, change most settings on there. It saves money for the installer, so they don't have to go out and see the customer. And it also puts the customer at ease knowing that there is someone who can look at their system at any time, anywhere in the world. So it's a really, really great bit of kit.
I'm quite techie, I'm IT consultant, so you know, doing things like that is my day job. I'd say it's very well written. It's clear, it's really got good UI, user interface. You can see everything you need to see on it. The fact that it's connected to the cloud means that wherever you are, if you're connected to the internet, you can control what's going on in the house, and we've done that. One time we were coming home, wasn't there?
Yes, particularly cold day, and I said, oh, I'm freezing, let's turn the heating up. And we did it from the car. So yeah.
It's nice to to move into something a little bit more modern than burning oil.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's great. And noise-wise, there isn't any. A lot of people said to us, "Oh, you've got a heat pump, isn't that noisy?" No, it is not. So we need to dispel that myth right now.
It's incredible.
I mean, we couldn't be more satisfied. It's just been fantastic from the beginning when we met Paul. When he came out, he came out a couple of times to make sure that everything was correct, to talk us through the system and everything and how it would go in, the installation. Yeah, the workmanship was fantastic. The whole thing. We are so excited about it.
Just been really, really impressed with the install from beginning to end, with the support that Paul's given them. The installation work is really neat and tidy. I'm really pleased that Air2Heat are on board with Panasonic because their work is exceptional. The care and attention, the after sales support is really looked after these customers. The customers are overwhelmed, really, really are.